In 1929, during the October month, stock market lost 70% of its value within 1 week. He made $3 billion in that week itself. When you feel that you are doing absolutely fine because all the stocks in your portfolio are in green, you are elated, you are in ecstasy. Now, you seem to make the most dangerous mistakes during those times. If that happened to you, my friend, this is the best story that you can relate to. Welcome back to another video at Trading IQ. This is Shourabh Bhattacharjee, and I would like to thank you for showing your love and support to my new playlist, Psychology of Money. I wanted to bring these videos to you so that it helps you understand different perspectives from successful people from all over the world, because new perspective can only help change our situation. If you are not successful yet, I'm not successful yet, so I'm open to new perspectives, and all I'm doing here is sharing my learnings with you, sharing those perspectives to you so that you can also be open to new perspectives and don't stuck on those old beliefs, those past beliefs, because if you are not successful yet, that means you are doing something wrong. Now, we tend to overlook the most significant part of it, which is our own mindset. So we have to bring about changes within ourselves if we are to successful. We can read things, we can look at videos, we can read a lot of articles, we can do a lot of other things from the outside world. But at the end of the day, we have to have that understanding to change what we believe in the past. So we have to be open to new perspectives, because new perspectives will give you an opportunity to look at the same thing from a different angle. So you got to have that open mindset to see that thing, that why you are not successful. You're looking at from a distance, from a same lens. Why don't you change it and see it from a different angle and see where are you making mistakes? And 99% of time you would find that it is your mindset that is keeping you in the trouble. So be open to change your perspectives and update your belief. Continuously update your beliefs, because if you're stuck onto your old beliefs, that will not help you in the long run. So if you are to be successful, if you are to be a greatest investor, if you are to be someone who aspires to be a successful investor, trader in the stock market, you have to continuously update your belief, and that's what I'm trying to. So in today's video, what I'm going to share is very important, which is the two aspects of being wealthy. One is getting wealthy, another is staying wealthy. Jesse Livermore was one of the greatest stock market investor. Born in 1877, he became a professional trader before people knew that you could do such a thing. By age 30, his net worth was equivalent of inflated adjusted amount of 100 million. By 1929, he became one of the greatest stock market investor. And 1929 was when Great Depression happened. After the surging market from 1920s, in 1929, during the October month, stock market lost 70% of its value within 1 week. And it was a Black Monday, Black Tuesday, Black Friday. It was totally a black week in itself in the stock market history. And there were newses across the street that people are committing suicide, and it was not a bloodbath in the stock market arena, it was also a bloodbath outside of it, because people were committing suicide. They lost all their fortunes, they lost all their values in one given week. Jesse's wife Dorothy feared the worst, because everyone who made fortune during the surging market during 1920s, most of them lost fortunes, and she had been seeing the news that people are committing suicide. So she also feared the worst. And when Jesse knocked the door that evening, they felt relieved and they greeted him with tears. And Jesse, on the other hand, could not understand what was going on, because he made $3 billion in that week itself, because he was short the market. He was betting that the stock would decline, and it did. It lost 70% of its value, and he made fortune. He made inflated adjusted equivalent of $3 billion in that particular week. As the Livermore family celebrated their unfathomable success, there was another successful investor from 1920s, Abraham GERMANSKY. He was a famous real estate developer and a multi-millionaire who lost all his fortune on that week. And he wandered around the street and he committed suicide. So he was also another greatest stock market investor during that time, but then he committed suicide. So this was the contrasting picture. When one family was celebrating their unfathomable success, another family were distraught because of the loss. Their stories cross path again. In 4 years, Jesse, overflowing with his overconfidence, made larger and larger bets, and he was deep under debt. And eventually he lost all his fortune. And he also committed suicide. The timing was different, but Jesse and GERMANSKY shared the same trait. They both were very good at getting wealthy, but they were equally bad at staying wealthy because they ignored the two important aspects of life, which are luck and risk, which I've shared already in my previous videos on this playlist. I'll paste the link on the I button. So they did not attribute their success to luck. They thought that they were genius. They thought that they could repeat the same thing. So these were one-off hits. Jesse's success during the Great Depression, when he betted that the stock would decline, he made inflated adjusted equivalent of $3 billion on that particular week. He thought that it could be repeated. He did not think that it was one-off hits. He was lucky. Even GERMANSKY, during the 1920s surging market, he thought that he was genius. He thought that he could repeat the same thing over and over again. And overflowing with overconfidence, they made larger bets. When they became wealthy, they thought they can become wealthier. And they were genius at doing that. They did not attribute any of their success to luck. And that was the major turning point of their life. And the magnitude of this situation is so terrible that they had to commit suicide. There are more stories around this storyline that you can find on the internet. Now, why am I sharing this story? How will it help you as a retail investor? Because here I'm talking about millions and billions of dollars. And we are just a retail investor with just worth of 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakhs rupees. Now, let me share how you can relate to this story. Now, remember those times when all of the stocks in your portfolio are in green? Don't you feel elated? Don't you feel out of the world that you are one of the genius? You have been the best stock picker in the whole world, that you have chosen the best stocks in the world, and you can be a millionaire in 5 years, in 10 years. You get this thought whenever you see all of your stocks are performing well. You are on a winning streak. Now, during those times, you definitely had made mistakes, and I wanted to point out those situations. Now, when you feel that you are doing absolutely fine, you are one of the best stock pickers because all the stocks in your portfolio are in green, you are elated, you are in ecstasy. Now, you seem to make the most dangerous mistakes during those times, and you make larger bets. You put in excess amount of risk on the next trade and you go out of your plan. And all the amounts that you had generated through those winning streak, you give more to the stock market in the next 5 trades. If that happened to you, my friend, this is the best story that you can relate to. So of course the magnitude of it is pretty small than Jesse and GERMANSKY, the story that I shared, but it is the same trade. I have had this trade for a very long time. When I dealt with cryptocurrency, I saw a huge surge and I thought I was one of the best in the world and I can be a millionaire in few years. I don't have to work any longer. I can just live on my stock market income. I had that feeling. So I made all the mistakes. Again, I have another playlist, Learn from my mistakes, and I'm going to bring you more videos on that aspect where I'll explicitly share my mistakes, what mistakes I made, and what learning I had from my mistakes. So you see the point where I'm going with this whole aspect of how getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two different aspects of being wealthy. So when you are on a winning streak, just stay humble and attribute some of your success to luck. Because you know that luck's cousin, risk, can turn your situation down just as fast. And you could lose whatever you have made. You could lose double the money that you have made. And most of the time that usually happens with all of you, with all of us, right? So what can we do about it? It's our mindset because of which we are losing money. It's not the plan. Of course, we were doing something right for us to have that winning streak. But then we were losing it because of our mindset, because we think that we were genius, but we are not. Of course, you cannot treat yourself as genius. You just have to focus on what you can do to earn money. And for that, you have to respect luck and you have to respect risk. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video and share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you and have a great day.